It's the 19th of December and we are going to be demoulding a couple of new bits that I bought and some dice, obviously. Now I need to stop saying First off, I thought we would have a quick look at some of the new things that I'd got. So I think you saw this in the last video here. We've also got today, these are basically little skull heads, but if you can see the top part there, they've got, I'm pretty sure, they've got top hats on, so they looked quite cool, so I've got those. I've been using some bright pink again, as you can see, and some glitter and stuff, and I actually put some nail powder into the resin itself this time to see how that came out. And I've tried a basil as well. There's a bit of spillage on this side here from actually putting it in, so hopefully I'm going to be able to get that off, but there's no, as far as I can tell, no actual leakage on the sides there, and obviously I don't know what it's going to look like underneath the tape. It might look really rubbish, but I figured I would try one before I get one of these doming things and all the rest of it, just to see if I like the effect and how it came out and stuff. So we'll take a look at that in a mo as well. So, and I needed some more of these because I keep sending them with people's orders, dice orders and things, and it's starting to get a bit low on them. So I thought I would try some funky ones with some resin that I had left over. It doesn't matter that there's a bit of overspill up the top here. It was getting quite thick by the point that I managed to get this in. I was faffing around quite a lot yesterday with the dice I was making. But there we go. So it's mostly pink on the front, which is kind of interesting that you can then see the blue on the back, but from inside. So you can see how thick the pink is. And then just through the middle. That's really cool. I quite like that effect, actually. And the other one is pretty much the same, but I poured some blue in at the same time and put it in the middle, and then poured pink in around the edges. So I've got two using the same colours, exactly the same colours. Now the pink was done with a pink alcohol ink, and the blue itself has got small amounts of blue and black alcohol ink in. I used a navy and a black. And then this nail powder glitter, which is just, it looks really awesome. It's supposed to be a bit, you know, like when you see it in the light, you see two different colours a little bit, but not a huge amount. But actually, I quite like the way it's working in this resin. So that's quite interesting, how that's coming out. Let's put those over there. Then, obviously, it's a lantern, so it has to glow in the dark. I hear you all call at the same time. It does indeed have to glow in the dark. So there we go. This, I actually really love this little lantern. I don't know why. It's just really super cute. And in here there is a, I don't think it's picking up on the camera. I believe it's not picking up on the camera. There is the smallest amount of this blue glitter. Well, I say blue glitter. It's this nail powder. So just this tiniest little twinkle, which, yeah, we're not going to be able to see on the camera, but I assure you it's there, and it looks really cute. You just can't really see it on the front part. Perhaps once I've painted the front part we might be able to see, so we'll check that out once I've painted that. I painted up some of these already before. This is the mould that I have where it scares math rocks across the front of it, and these are really cool. So I've done one last time that had just this one section in the middle which was glow in the dark, and then a darker section. I think I did black in the end. I wanted to do a bit more with the glow in the dark stuff. I've got a real glow in the dark obsession at the moment, and I was using some of this blue in the other things that I was doing, so you can see that that's in there. And then the top part has got a little tiny bit of the blue, and it doesn't really show too much at the front, but just enough that you can see, hopefully, that these bits here, they are dice, little dices, and then it does say math rocks across the front. I've linked to you this mould before, but for any of my new subscribers, and thank you for my new subscribers, I will leave a link in the description in case you fancy grabbing yourself one of these. Obviously the shop is on Etsy and they do a bunch more stuff, but I was particularly pulled to this particular mould. The earrings that I've done before, the black pair actually looked really nice. The pair that I did before that was in a bluey colour, they're still quite cute. The colours, they're just a bit wrong for when you paint them, because you can't really see the numbers on there. So the interesting thing about these is that although you can't really see properly, it's hard for me to see too. The number 20 is here and the 8's in the middle. You can probably see a bit better on the mould there. And the same with the little keyring thing here, or pendant, whatever I don't think you would wear a necklace that size. I don't know, maybe you would. Did the same kind of style as these. Had a lot of this blue and stuff. So there's a funky thing going on in the back that obviously doesn't quite translate to the front. That's a shame, because that would have looked really cool, but you know, resin behaves differently. And these are just kind of black and purple. Basically they're little earrings or they're little decorations or something. I mean, if you had a tiny festive tree, you could probably put them on or something along those lines. But either way, I'm quite happy with how they're coming out, and I do love this little math rocks thing. So this is the third one I've made now. So when I have a little display stall, I can hang this above and it tells everybody what the display is of. We've now got these. Now, I haven't taken any of these out yet at all. I haven't moulded any of them at all. So let's have a look. Oh, he was quite easy to come out. Oh, he's so cute. Okay. Here's a super small, but I hope you can kind of see. So he's got a little purple hat and a blue head, because I poured in purple and then I poured in blue. So he's quite cute. He's come out pretty good. Oh, the same with these ones. These are all purple hats and blue. And if I recall correctly, I think I did the back ones, the bigger ones, with a little black hat. Sorry, there's little bits of resin coming off this all over the place. I hope you can see him there. He's kind of cute. Right, let's have a look at these ones, because these are the bigger ones. They're actually kind of, well, the small ones were unbelievably easy to get out, comparative. So he's, see, I didn't quite manage to get enough black in to fill his hat there, but you can kind of see, hopefully. He's got a little black hat, and he's got a sort of half purple, half blue head. I think they're quite cute. I don't know how the person who did the one that was in the picture, perhaps they painted it afterwards or something. The person that done the ones in the picture, when I looked at these, the black hat, there was a definite divide between the black hat and the rest of the face. So I think I just need to get a little bit more used to the line of where the stuff is. I was kind of trying to pour it quite quickly because I wanted to use different colours, and I was trying to also use the same colours that I had mixed. I was using in dice at the same time, so obviously trying to do multiple things at once, and none of them have got like a perfect line. Oh, he's better. And he has got like this like machine looking face. I don't know if it really picks up on the camera, but his face is like he's got, well, to me it's a bit steampunk, I think. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I quite like those. Those are kind of cute. I thought about making little tiny weeny earrings with them, drilling into the top of their heads. Pardon me, but his head doesn't go all the way up. That's just his hat. And then with these, maybe little key rings or something. I wasn't sure, but I wanted to see what they came out like first. You can always see on a picture when someone, you know, is selling something. You see the little picture. That looks great, you know, but what does it really look like? This is from Resin Art Supplies. They're a UK-based company. Guess where they are? Etsy. Yes, that's correct. They're on Etsy. And what I liked about this one was that you've got the two different sizes, and somebody's made effort to actually have supports in the little mould at the front there, so it doesn't sag and make your little people, I guess, your little faces a weird shape as it pulls the mould down. So I'm pretty pleased with how these have come out. They obviously require some sorting out on the bottom here. We've got a little bit of overspill, but that's fine. They're quite cute. I quite like those. Let's just move those there a little bit. Right, now let's have a look at this basil attempt. So this is what's called an open basil, meaning it is literally just a metal frame. And then I put some tape this way over, and then I put another piece that way as well, just to make sure that nothing seeped out the bottom. Now this is the same kind of principle as if you were making a mould for your dice. You would put your cup or whatever it is you're using as a basis over clear tape of some description, and then you would pour your mould stuff in to that cup. Now, from a resin perspective, I'm not too sure what it's gonna actually look like, or if I can get hold of any of the tape now, since it's got resin stuck to it. This might be a complete disaster, I'm not sure. I have not done one of these before, so this was a bit of a trial. Yeah, I got a sticky up bit at the end. Can you see that? But it's really small. It's really hard to pour resin into this tiny little thing. Mysterious me actually thought all basils probably had like some kind of weird glass front to them. They don't. They come like this, and I'm sure there probably maybe are those types of bazels. Oh gosh. And they obviously require some thought going into this. Actually, on this side it's come out pretty good. We've just got tape and excess resin stuck around the place, so we can get that lot removed. I might be able to get that removed with a knife, but oh, it feels weird. Well, it's probably got tape, so it's not smooth, so it probably needs buffing. It's still kind of shiny, and there's a slight kind of ripple. I don't know if you guys can see that. There is a slight ripple, but we might be able to put the tiniest bit of clear resin over the top there and just let it settle to fill that, to give it a nice finish. But look, you can see from that side lots and lots of over pour, we'll call it. I don't know what the official name would be. Liz's mess. Let's call it Liz's mess. Yeah, so hopefully we can get some of this off and cleaned up, because oh, there we go. It's going to drop something. I actually quite like this. This is actually kind of cute, I think. I don't know. What do you think? Colour wise, again, used the same sort of colours as I was working with. It does not glow in the dark. Yeah, I skipped out on the glow in the dark one because I actually wanted colour in it to see. But I'm kind of, for a first attempt, I'm not too upset about that. The basil itself isn't hugely well made. You can see that there's a bit of a line. It doesn't feel overly smooth, and I just thought, you know what, I'm not fussed about how it looks to begin with. I just want to see if I can do it first off, and what it comes out like, and what I'm working with. So I'm actually kind of pleased with how this came out. What do you think? Do you have basil tips apart from getting one of those doming mat things? And I don't really fully understand how to use those. But if you have some tips on making resin jewellery using these sorts of things, please let me know, because I would love to maybe make some more of these. Now, down here, as I'm sure you spotted, we have some dice moulds. Now, we have two sets. Now, there's a story behind one of the sets. This set here I am making for my Dungeon Master. Now, my husband is a DM for one of our groups, but also I play in a work group of his where we're running the Ghosts of SaltMarsh campaign. Now, the Ghosts of SaltMarsh campaign, if you're not familiar with this particular campaign, a lot of it's centred around water, as the name suggests. Now, the campaign itself, we haven't really got into the ghosts so much, but we've got into a boat and some pirates and stuff. I won't give too much away, just in case, you know, you haven't played this campaign or you're planning to play this campaign. Swig of tea, please. But the there's a lot of mist and stuff in the marshes and things like that going on. So I wanted to take those elements and make a set of dice for him. So that's what I've done. I have no idea what these are going to come out like because I kind of used a slightly different technique to how I've made dice before. This dice mould is the one that I've been using from, who are they? DruidDiceShop. They're again on Etsy. The guys are super, super nice. They sell some different types of moulds. They also sell the boxes so that you can make your own. And they don't sell the actual stuff to make the mould though. They just sell the you know, like the shape. So they have like this shape thing that you can buy. They also have some polishing services for dice if you were making your own masters. But what I didn't see is that they print the masters and stuff yet. So that's kind of what I'm looking into a bit at the minute, because that might be beneficial, but I don't know why I want. Also, you know, you've got this cure inhibition stuff from certain types of resin, and it's a bit of a minefield when you don't understand all the terminology, so it's not real straightforward to find all this stuff out. But well, these are cool. Yeah, so kind of looking into that at the moment, because this dice mold is not going to last forever. But the thing is, I really, really love the font on this set, the Gothic style font, because it's nice and deep. It's super, super like wide in certain places, but not ugly, you know, like not chunky, ugly wide. Does that make sense? The font itself, the 4 is my favourite number. Not in general my favourite number, but the number 4 on the dice. Where is it? There we go. So can you see the number 4 on the dice there? Look at that. It's just gorgeous. It's when you're painting it, it's beautiful. So I'm actually really liking how these dice have come out. These ones, I'll tell you a little bit more about these in just a mo. I can get some more of them birthed. Come on. And the mould itself, it's holding up pretty good, to be honest. It's had, oh my gosh, how many dice is it birthed now? Well, not individual dice, but sets. I would say probably about 7 or 8 sets now, maybe. I only have the one pressure pot. I only have the one set of the one mould of this, basically. Plus also, you know, filling house with dice type thing. So it was good to have a purpose. Now, I sent a set of dice that I made previously, like the purpley green ones. They've landed in their new home now, I am pleased to say. And he's super happy with them. He calls them a Mardi Gras set. So yeah, he's well pleased with those, which I'm super happy about, because when I was making them, I was really not sure about the colours and how it was going to look. So that's cool. That's cool. Now, this set here, I really like. I really like this blue. So this blue is a dark, well, I say dark blue. It's a navy blue. And I darkened it down with a bit of black in the resin to make my base first off. Then I used some of these nail powders. Now, the nail powders that I used, one of them was like a bluey one, and then one of them was a slightly greeny, because the Ghosts of SaltMarsh, so there's marsh and water, as you can imagine, and then I used white ink, alcohol ink. So I waited till so a little bit like a Petri method, but not fully. Petri-ish, we'll call it, which is how I've got this sort of effect in the past as well. It's Petri-ish. So waiting until the resin has got a bit thick and a little bit syrupy, but also not waiting too long, because you want the colour to fall through. So you can see here on the dice, this one, where it's pulled it down. So it's also pulled the mica resin down here, as well as the white. So you end up with a bit of white on the on its butt, if you like, the butt that's facing up, the number 1 face usually. You can see a little bit more on here, and again on here. So this particular one here has got this really cool effect that I actually really, really like waves. So if you were doing acrylic paint pouring, you could get this kind of effect on your paint pour. And we've got this lovely line that runs around here that's a little bit like, you know, the surf of a wave coming in and out. Can you see it? I think it looks really cool. Not all of them have exactly the same amount in. Some of them I put more white in, and some of them I put less white in. And then obviously you can see where there's a little bit of white on this side, and then where the micas kind of run in certain paths, if you like. It's sort of pathing in different ways into the dice. So I'm really happy with how these have come out, actually. And whilst the swirls in them, the mica's a little bit overpowering in some of these, I actually think that whilst what was in my head looks something slightly different, I actually think he'll really like these. So I'm really pleased with the way these have come out. Again, I used, throwing dice around. I used clear resin as a base, poured that in first off. Then I used the glittery blue stuff. I don't know how to describe it. The glittery blue stuff, poured some of that in, waited for it to go syrupy. Then I put in some of this mica mixed up in resin, and then waiting till it's almost set before I put some of this white in. And it's sort of an advanced white, so it is heavier. It's meant to drop, which is what gives you some of these lovely effects when you're making peachy dice. But you can see here, I didn't want the full peachy effect. I just wanted a little bit of it because I was using mica as well. Mica's obviously mixed up, is heavier. So there we go. These are some Ghosts of SaltMarsh dice. And I will get these cleaned up and I will get them painted. And then I'm going to send them off to the guy who DMs for us. I will let you know what he thinks. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with these. What do you think? And do you have any other books or campaigns that you think might be cool to make a set of dice from? I myself am running the Temple of Elemental Evil, and there's 4 different temples, 4 different elements. I think it would be hard to make a set that represented all of those, because I think it would just be like, you know, earth, air, fire, water, mess in dice, which whilst I am pretty pro at making a mess, I don't think I would necessarily want to make a mess in dice. So these ones were, I spent so much time trying to do the SaltMarsh dice and make those look awesome that these ones were already getting kind of syrupy by the time I got to them, so not great to be pouring at that point, but nevertheless they were going to be poured. And by that point the resin had already sat for quite a while, so we didn't have too many bubbles. It was just trying to get the colours in. So we might have some really cool colour separation here, I'm not too sure, but you can tell the flashing on the top is quite thick, so I'm just carefully snipping this away and being careful that I'm not touching the mould at any point, because otherwise we will not get these out. So as you can see here, they're kind of loud, and in part I regretted that a little bit, because as I was putting the blue in, I was thinking, oh, they're a bit like sort of galaxy kind of chalk looking, and then I had the pink, and then I thought, oh yeah, I'll put some pink in, and then I was like thinking, oh gosh, what have I done? I might have just made them look really horribly ugly. I don't think they're horribly ugly. They're just not they're not what I envisioned, because I decided to put the pink in. But that's okay. I think they still look quite nice. The blue with the glitter in is really beautiful. And again, I put some white in the top, so that was falling through quite nicely. So let's see if we can birth the rest of these babies. Oh, he's stuck to his friend over there. I'll just get him off. There we go. Now the flashing doesn't matter too much. I just don't like pulling it really close to the dice in case it tears a corner. I've had a few where it has torn the corner, and the lid is very, very slightly raised with these ones, but it's fine because I can sand that down. I just don't want to tear off one of the other sides, because then you have to sand the other side down altogether. Now, I can see in here, it's really weird, because there's definite pinky purpleness coming through from